And welcome back, everybody, to the last Tuesday night chit chat of 2025. As some of you may notice, my voice is not per normal. I have another upper respiratory infection, and I get these. If I get a cold, it turns into this. Ever since I had the C19 several years ago, had it 3 times. And so I'm just, this is what it is. So we're not going to stay on real long tonight, but I really just wanted to come on and tell everybody how much I appreciate you guys. You amaze me with your kindness every day, and I cannot say how grateful I am for that. Uh, One of my subscribers sent me this shirt. Thank you very much for Christmas. And I'm blown away by your generosity, and you all have treated me with so much respect. I'm blown away by our little community. So thank you very, very much. We have 2 days until 2026, and that is, I think, going to be my best year yet, right? Um, we're going to continue the bag trail. I've got the new bag right here. Um, I am super impressed with No Surrender Gear. I've talked about this company before, and the more I deal with them, the more impressed I am. And so I jumped in and I bought another of their bags, and I haven't had a chance to test it out yet. It's not, I can't really take a carry-on when I fly because I tend to put so much weight in it that I can't carry it, and hence it's a carry-on. And so I usually take a checked bag and a personal item, which is my backpack. And so this bag is going to be my, uh, when I travel by car. And I apologize, guys. Talking makes me cough. I'm trying really hard not to cough in your face. So I do have some cinnamon tea that I will be sipping on because it keeps my throat soothed. So uh, it is what it is. Bear with me. And I know you guys will because you guys are the best ever. So, okay. Um, and Mookie has made it in to join us. He says, looking forward to all the information and fun you will bring in 2026. I'm glad that I got to be part of your community. Mookie, I am so grateful that you're here. Uh, you guys you have shown me so much generosity, and when I think about it, I get a little bit overwhelmed. And, but I appreciate all of you so much. It is, New Year's Eve. Yes, it is New Year's Eve in Australia. So those guys may not come in tonight because it's actually like the afternoon leading up to New Year's Eve. So, um, and I completely get it, different time zones and what have you. And Peter made it in. Happy end of year show and happy new year to you and yours. Thank you, Peter. Glad to have you. Um, so yeah, we will, kind of keep this short and sweet tonight, but, how are you guys spending New Year's Eve? Now, I've taken kind of a random poll of people I know, and it seems like even the younger people are not wanting to go out as much as in the past. Maybe it's because they're not as young as they used to be, but it seems like all the general consensus between everybody 40 and over is they're staying home where it's safe. They can watch their favorite movie, snuggle up in their PJs, and not have to fight with the crowds and the drama of going out on New Year's Eve. So I'm wondering how that's going to fare for businesses that count on New Year's Eve as a large part of their revenue. Um, but I don't know one person that's going out this year. So now a lot of people are having parties at home, But, back in the past, I remember going out, like, to the casinos on New Year's Eve, and a whole group of people would meet, and we'd have a blast, and I don't know of anybody doing that now, so I'm just curious if this is gonna affect, uh, businesses. Mookie says, "I still want to order some bread. Is the offer still open, Peter Gregg?" I bet it is. Um, Peter makes his bread all year, or he can make his bread all year. So, yes, I bet the offer is still open. One second. I'll be doing this periodically. It's better than coughing in your face. Mm. And it's really good tea. I think it's called cinnamon, hot cinnamon spice or something like that. It kind of tastes like Red Hots. It's actually really quite tasty. And it soothes the throat. And that's the main thing. And if the tea quits working, we have the Ricola throat balm. How about that? But I've had this since Sunday, and I really have just gotten tired of just sitting. There's nothing you can do except let it run its course. I am taking vitamins and I am taking immune builder things and all that good stuff, but it just has to run its course. Last time I had it, it took a month. So I just really don't want to go a whole month without seeing you guys. Okay? So just call me Ribbit. Yeah, I know I sound like a frog. And Randy made it in. Hello, everyone. I hope the Christmas was good. Hi, Sly. Hi, Randy. Christmas was interesting. Uh, when you have children that have significant others and they decide that they want to do their own thing, it makes for a little bit of a stressful Christmas. So, next year, I will be probably on a cruise in the Bahamas somewhere. Now, here it was very, very warm Christmas week, but normally that's not the case. And normally it's very, very cold. So I thought I would like to go somewhere kind of warm. And so I'm going to take a Christmas cruise next year. Yes. Mookie says, I think people are staying in to save money and hassle, but the food delivery people will probably be a lot busier. That is true. I hadn't thought about that. Um, I have stuff I'm gonna make for dinner tomorrow night, but if not, I would be door dashing. Mm. Hmm. Randy says winter is finally here. Yes, it is, and it came with a vengeance. So we dropped temperatures 40 degrees in one afternoon, like from about 10 or 11 to about 3 or 4. It dropped 40 degrees, which is huge. That's like a big big change, and then it has stayed cold since then. Now, I don't really mind the cold so much as long as there's not ice. And so far, we've had no precipitation, so we've had no ice. Um, I don't like having to drive on ice. I don't like my children having to drive on ice. And they have to go to work, so they have to get out and about. And so y'all can keep the ice. Let it rain when the temperatures warm up a little bit. Mookie says, hello, Randy. I hope you're well. Here's hoping that the new year will bring peace between your dog and cat. Yes. Yes, that I hope the cat finally figures out that Lucky is not the household enemy. But honestly, I had a cat that never took to dogs ever. We even got her as a kitten and a puppy at the same time, and she just never took to dogs ever. So, hmm. And I think Randy's cat was a little bit older when he got Lucky, so the cat may never come to terms. Randy says, I am stocked up with groceries, good until after the new year. Same. I have Walmart deliver my groceries because I don't like being out in the store with people. I like getting out. I know this sounds kind of like an oxymoron, but I don't like grocery shopping, okay? I don't mind going to, like, other stores, but I don't like Walmart as a rule, and there's just so many people there, and so many of them are not very nice. So, I have a problem with when I see not very nice people acting not very nice to somebody else. So, uh, Randy says, to Mookie, "Ditto to you also and to everyone else. My dog chewed up my second blinds, so I put up Tiffany-looking film on the back door." Good call. Uh, yeah, I don't know how to keep them other than keeping the blinds open. I know I have some friends that, have dogs, and they are the perfect height when they're standing up to look out the window. If the window has blinds on it, they will be shredded. And so they keep their blinds about this far, about 2 feet up. And that way the dogs can look out. They don't feel like people are looking in. If they are, they're seeing a dog or two. And it has saved them from having to replace blinds. Um, Randy says, "I usually order for groceries, and every time I go to the grocery store, I get a ding on the car." Right? Yeah, I mean, I don't get my truck dinged up, but I just don't like being around that many people who are not being nice to one another. And it's like, it's not the last loaf of bread. Or do you remember when the toilet paper scare happened? It's not like they're going to quit making toilet paper, folks. I'm not real sure what that was ever about, but you know. And Carlos made it. Hi, everyone. Hope all is well. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, sir. Um, Bronchial thing going on again. You know how it goes. And Mookie says, "How often do you use Walmart Spark?" I don't know what Spark is. I have the Walmart Plus, but I don't know what Spark is. So, um, and then Amazon has started delivering groceries. I'm not sure. Now, paper plates, toilet paper, foil, you know, Ziploc baggies, that's fine from Amazon. But if you can't really get in to see their produce, I'm not sure I've never done it, so I really can't speak about it, but it makes me a little bit nervous. I know at Walmart, at least I've seen their produce, so I kinda have an idea of what I'm gonna be getting, which it is funny because, today, the guy delivered my groceries with 5 other bags, and I had to flag him down and say, "Hey, this isn't my stuff. It was in with my stuff, but these bags aren't mine." And, of course, they don't speak English. And "Oh, yes, 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 yours. Yes, yours." I said, "No, they're not." It was a whole thing of peach soda. Don't drink peach soda. So I went back and checked just to make sure they didn't somehow put that on my tab, and they didn't. And I did make him take it back with him. I don't know where he took it, but I didn't wanna keep it. Uh, I did check, and Crisp is filtering that out. I hope. Mookie says, "Happy New Year to you as well, Carlos." And Randy says, "Now nobody can see in and I can't see out, but it looks nice." Right? Spark is their grocery delivery service. Oh, well, here it's called Walmart Plus. I don't know that I mean, I just go onto their Walmart app and start putting groceries in my basket and put for delivery and pick a time. I don't think I've ever seen anything that said Spark, but to be honest, Mookie, I really haven't looked that close. And one nice thing about Walmart, so they had a toy that a certain 6-year-old, he has been praying that he would get this toy. Sold out everywhere. Everywhere. Well, thankfully, on Christmas morning, he unwrapped all his gifts and everything like that, but he wasn't really paying that close of attention, and then he was whisked away to his father's. So he doesn't really know exactly what toys he got or didn't get. And I was able to find said toy after Christmas, so it is here waiting on him. And I can't wait till he walks in and he sees this. It's some kind of a dinosaur. I don't know. Randy says, I use Heb, Heb, which is fresher and local produce. Dollar store for everything else. Oh, really? So now the dollar store, I used to buy paper plates at the dollar store. Price per plate, they are cheaper on Amazon if you buy in large quantities, which we go through a few paper plates, um, probably more than you would think, because I use them as a cutting board. I have cutting boards, but I use them as a cutting board. That way you can just throw them away. You don't have to wash them. And so, yeah, I go through a fair amount of paper plates. I used to buy them at the Dollar Tree, and you get like 12, I think, for $1.25 or something. Well, when you do the math, it's actually cheaper to get like a 60 count or whatever on Amazon. So, uh, HEB and a partner delivers mine. HEB and a partner. I wonder what HEB stands for. 'Cause I don't know. Day after Christmas is where all the sales happen, and you would not catch me dead in a store on the day after Christmas. And yes, I know a lot of sales happen, but they can't sell out of everything. And like Kohl's and Penny's and places like that, they will still have merchandise left on sale after the first of the year when everybody has gone back to work and the world has returned to some sort of normalcy. Thank you. That's just my opinion. Um, Now, Amazon and places like that, they really don't run too many sales. Specific vendors might, but I haven't seen, I have like a list of 60 or 70 things that I've saved, and it notifies me when something goes on sale. And I really haven't seen anything going on sale too much. There have been a few items that I forgot were in my list that I'd already bought that have gone on sale, but it wasn't even enough to talk about. So, um, not seeing any big sales there. Now, the brick and mortar stores will be having sales to clear out for the spring merchandise. So, and get rid of all those Christmas toys. These insulated cups are the bomb diggity. If you put hot tea in a normal cup, it's dead cold by now. And that is totally drinkable. It's not so hot it burns your throat, but it's totally drinkable. So, hopefully this will blow over by next week. I am doubtful. Last time it took a month. Um, but I think last time it was worse. So I am really loading up on like vitamins and the stuff they give me for my immune system. And so, Howard E. Butt is the original grocer that has become big in the Texas area. So it's kind of like your Publix. Okay. We have Reese's. They're higher than Walmart. Their quality of meat and stuff is so much better, but they are a lot higher. Now they do run sales, and if you catch their sales, like I think last week it was Kansas City strips were on sale at a really good price, but they, as a rule, if, let's say a 12-pack of soda is $6 at Walmart, it'll be $9 at it'll be $9 at Reese's. So, as a rule, they are higher. They do deliver, and they do use a third partner, or like a partner delivery system. So, I am going to take one of these what are they called? Throat calmers? Throat balm. Yes, Ricola throat balm. They're fantastic. I don't know if they really balm your throat, but the inside has got like a liquid, and so it kind of coats your throat. And between that and the tea, it should keep me from, coughing in your face. Yeah, we'll see. So this year, I would like to get a new camera. However, and Randy and I have talked about this a little bit, they've come out with a new DJI clone called Extra. Okay. And there's an Extra Pro. There's an Extra, which is like the DJI Osmo Action 4. The Pro is like the 5. And then they've got the one that Randy has, the Pocket, what is it, the Pocket 3, that has the little camera, but it's also on a gimbal. Now, the way I carry my camera, I have a little pouch. There you go. I have this little pouch right here, and my camera is in here all the time. So I always have a camera with me. I think right now, because the last place I took this was Christmas. So I think this is probably the 5. No, by golly, it's the 4. I usually take the 4 with me during the daytime because it has a much better picture than the 5, but it just slides right in there. I've got my selfie stick in the bag if I need it. Tripod and stuff in the bag, batteries in the bag. Microphone is in the top pocket of the bag. So I'm ready to go like at a moment's notice, but I have also dropped the 5. I thought it was attached. It's just got the little magnet with these little ears on it, and I thought it was attached, and it was not. And so when I went to put it, like, down, not like put it down, just put my arm down, it came flying off, and so that's why I say I'm suspect that the Pocket 3 would last very long, because it has its own gimbal, and that's what gives it the really steady, smooth look to it, but I'm just afraid I would break the gimbal. So, I don't think I wanna go with the Osmo Action 6. I just don't think it's that much of an improvement over the 5. Now, I will say that for live streaming, both the 4 and the 5 suck. It's not a good picture. These little Osbots do so much better, but Tom Buck has been at it again, and he's got my interest picked in um it's like a $200 webcam, basically, and I can't remember the name of it. Oh, wait, I have it in my saved thing. I bet I can pull it up pretty quickly. Maybe, if my phone will cooperate. Um, it is the YOLO Live, YOLO Cam, and I've had my eye on that ever since Tom did his little, review of it. Tom Buck could sell me ice cubes in December. I mean, the man is a genius. But so I'm kind of in limbo. I want a new camera. I've got the money saved for a new camera, but I just don't know. These really work well. I did find out on my trip that the built-in camera on the laptop actually works better than this one. So there's that. And I have been rearranging. I know you guys, I don't know if you can tell, but I did rearrange the wall, and I've been kind of rearranging the desk. I haven't finished yet. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put everything. And I may go back to, now that little man is bigger and can actually maneuver around tripods and stuff, I may go back to using cameras for my live stream. I don't know. I'm really happy with not having anything on the floor, but if it's I don't know. It'll be determined by where all this stuff gets set up. So, I did try moving it more to the center of the room, and I found that my cords aren't long enough. So, yeah, go figure with that one. Randy says, I got 4 Nikon ZRs and 3 small rig L brackets for the grip and the arc Swiss bottom for tripods for better stabilization. So are you mounting them on top of one another or side by side on a bar? Um, Interesting. 4 Nikon ZRs. I am really interested to know, Randy, why do you have 4 Nikon ZRs? Because I know you have the is it the S3? The one that comes in all the pretty colors? Um, so yeah, I'm very curious to find out about that. Because I know you have what, 16 cameras, Randy? So are you using first, are they stacked on top of each other or are they on a horizontal plane? That's the first question. See, I have a question for you guys. DJI Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Combo, gimbal, internal and external mic, and 2 batteries. Yes, the gimbal is the part that scares me. Because I think being, I always have a 4 or 5 or both with me at all the time, and I'm afraid that gimbal would not take so much abuse. Whereas the action cameras, they don't seem to mind abuse. Now, I do have cages on all of them, and screen protectors. When the camera fell off the little thing, it completely shattered what I thought was the lens, and thankfully I had put a screen protector on them, so all I had to do was take that off, put a new one on, perfectly good to go. Didn't hurt the camera at all. And I dropped it on concrete, so Randy says, I got a bigger case for the Pocket 3 and all of its accessories. Still have to get another wind muffler to replace what Lucky chewed up. Well, uh, the another wind muff for the actual Pocket 3 or for the mic? Because didn't those come with a mic mini, I think? Which I absolutely adore, my mic minis. Oh, Randy, thank you so much. Randy gave me a super chat. Happy New Year, Sly, and have a hot chocolate. Thank you so much. You guys, your support means the world to me. It just, I can't even describe. You guys, I would do anything in the world for you guys. Thank you, Randy. Randy says 3 ZRs for the Nikon Studio, 1 for a side view, 1 for the Lazy Boy, and 1 for facing, and 1 for overhead. The small rig bases are Arc Swiss and only 1 camera on 1 tripod. Okay. Um, that's So, I thought about selling the Sony ZV-1, but I like it because it does a really good job as my overhead camera. And I've got a zoom thing for it, and so I can just, sit at the desk and zoom in and out. Now, right now I have a second Osbot up there, and it's okay. It's not the quality that the ZV-1 is, but it also doesn't have as many wires. One. So, I did see, Peter, on your show where you were talking about you can't put a dummy battery on the ZV-1. I have a cage. So, one second. Ah, I have a cage. Small rig probably. Yes. Can you see it? Yes, small rig cage. And on the bottom, it has the battery door. And you can put this on a tripod on any of these screws. So that's what allowed me to have it suspended and plugged in with a dummy battery. And it has stayed on. I'm ashamed to say it, but I would forget to turn it off. And so it would stay on for 2 or 3 days after a live stream or a video. Um, I lost and Randy, this is what I was talking about. This is the original wind muff for that, but I lost that. And I was going to try to sell the camera. So I thought. So I ordered this one. I don't honestly know who makes this one. Ah, yes, I do. Small rig to the rescue. Um, but it actually slides on where the original one does, and it actually gives you another cold shoe. So it's actually better than the original that Sony sent out. So um, I think Peter was saying he was having trouble putting a dummy battery on and putting it on the tripod, and he's 100% right. The screw that comes with, if you take the cage off, it's right there. You cannot have this on a tripod and open the battery door. So without the cage, you wouldn't be able to put it on a tripod and put a dummy battery in it. Now, one nice thing about Sony versus Canon, Sony doesn't care if the door stays open. Canon, you have to actually close the battery door to get the camera to come on. And so it makes it a little more troublesome with a Canon, but it's okay. And Randy's saying the mic, the wind muff for the mic. So I'm sure if Small Rig makes one for the ZV-1, they probably make one for the Pocket 3, would be my guess. This is a lot nicer material than what Sony provided. I don't know if there's a hill of beans of difference in the sound quality, but I would think this would be a little better since it's a finer. I would think your voice could get through it a little better. This one is very coarse. It's soft, but it's very, very kind of coarse. So, if that makes sense. Randy says, what would happen if the ZV-1 loses Bluetooth? Peter got a dummy battery and the small rig cage. What would happen if the ZV-1 loses Bluetooth? In regards to, um, he should, yeah, I'm confused. He should not have any trouble putting it on a tripod with the cage, because you can mount it like all the way over here and still open the battery door. I don't think there's a battery in here right now. I could be wrong. No, there's not. So with the battery door open, you've still got plenty of options for mounting it over here. If it loses Bluetooth, I don't use Bluetooth with the ZV-1, so I don't know. I honestly, I didn't even know it had Bluetooth, to be honest with you. So, because I always have it connected directly to the computer. Nikon, Sony, and Panasonic, the door can stay open and it'll still turn on. Yeah, it's just Canon. They're just weirdos about certain things, and that's one of them. Nobody else seems to care. Just Canon. Oh, ZV-1 uses Bluetooth for remote for zooming. Okay. Um, if it loses Bluetooth, well, that I excuse me, that I don't know. Mine never has. But the camera was like, I don't know, probably a foot above my head, and the Bluetooth was on the desk. So pretty close proximity. So I don't know. I've never had that happen. So your remote tripod uses Wi-Fi then? Randy, you are asking me questions I do not know the answer to. Um, I have one for Canon too. Um, it's never asked. I honestly don't know. I actually bought this from the Tesla guy. Can't think of his name right off the bat. John, somebody, the Tesla guy. Anyway, so he may have already paired everything up, but it's always been paired up. And so you just turn everything on, and as far as I know, there's no real place to I mean, that's the tripod. There's a battery. Oh, wait a minute. No, I think that's a lock. There's one oh, that's how you get the door off. There's no place to, like, pair it. That's a two-part lock to get the door off. So, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Um, I don't think the tripod uses Wi-Fi. I think it's just Bluetooth to the camera. I think. Mookie says, Elon Musk, that's the only Tesla guy I know. John, John, what was his last name? He lives up north and he makes videos on Teslas. And he has since before it was popular. And I cannot think of his last name. And it was probably about 3 years ago I bought the camera from him. And I don't know. No, not Elon Musk. John somebody. I want to say Sanderfield? No. I don't know. Randy, do you remember his name? Peter? Anybody remember his name? He doesn't really come in anymore. He used to come in Peter's live stream. And Peter loved him because he was a Tesla guy. So, but I cannot think of his name. So, yes, I'm kind of in the market for some kind of a new camera, but I'm not sure at this point which one I want or if I even need to upgrade. If I go back to the cameras, the issue with the cameras, they create a bokeh background. And I kinda want y'all to be able to see my backpacks and stuff. So I don't really want any bokeh back there. And with the cameras, that's what I was getting. So, yeah. At the old house, I was so much closer to the back wall. Excuse me. You could not see you couldn't see that many backpacks to start with. And I was so close that it didn't have that effect. Because I was maybe like 6 feet from the wall. But here I'm so much further. I'm like 10 feet from the wall. And so every time I set a camera up, it doesn't seem to matter which lens I put on it, you get a little bit of a blurry background. Sammy or his friends? No. No, this was a guy our age. He lives up by Washington, D.C. And so he would, and this has been, like I said, probably 3 years ago, he would have his Teslas do like the roundabout in front of Lincoln Memorial. And sometimes it would stump them and sometimes it wouldn't. But he was having them do the self-driving before, like, it became popular on YouTube to do that. So, I know his first name was John. And his last name starts with an S. I'm pretty sure. Beyond that, I don't really know. But no, he's probably in his 60s. Yeah. So, it'll come to me. Just, cannot believe I don't think I have his phone number. All right. So, I want everybody to tell me what is your number one goal for 2026? Randy? Or how about if I start? Sorry. Should be good to go for a few minutes. I want to get more heavily involved in YouTube. Okay, that's my goal for the year, is to get more heavily involved, put out more videos, but I want to establish relationships with companies like I'm doing with No Surrender Gear and promote good companies. Companies that, I mean, everybody's heard of Bellroy and Air, and there's just, they come out with a new bag and everybody's just supposed to, bow down. And I like some of the Bellroy stuff. I don't like all of it. And I think that's going to be true with any company, but I like a lot of the Mystery Ranch gear. However, they have been bought by Yeti. And so the prices have gone up for a lot of the same bags. I don't like that. So, but that is my goal for this year, is to find small little companies that make really good products and kind of help promote them. I mean, I think it's helping the bag community and it's helping these small businesses grow. And so that's kind of the direction I'll be taking my channel. Is you're going to see a lot more focus on smaller companies than on Bellroy and Mystery Ranch and Air and places like that. So, Randy says, saving money and downsizing. I've sold a lot of cameras and gear to finally get what I need. That is, Randy, I think that is an ongoing process. Because in the beginning, and I have a whole closet, trust me, full of gear that I don't use. I have been able to sell some of it. But like microphones and interfaces and just you name it. At one point, I thought I needed a whole bunch of stuff to do this, and I do not. So I finally got it. streamlined, I think, um, to where I kinda want it, but, I need to sell all that gear. So, all the XLR microphones and the interfaces, and I will probably keep one just in case, but, you know, the cables that I bought, and I spent so much money on that stuff, and now I don't even use any of it. So, um, and cameras. I spent a fortune on cameras and then decided that for me, in particular, my lifestyle, these action cameras fit the bill 100%. They are not for everybody. There are times when I wish I had Zoom, but for 95% of what I do, I would tear up a regular camera. This is a pocket camera, okay? The issue with it, and I had the Canon G7X Mark III, and the worry that I have, and I have a cap, uh, well, I had a cap for the G7X. This actually, when John sent this to me, it actually has the wide angle adapter permanently mounted on it. But you can still put a cap on it. But these little fins right there is what keep me from carrying this. Now, I have a screen protector on the back, so I'm not too worried about that. And I think, yes, you can. Um, you can put the screen on the inside so it doesn't get hurt. But these little fins right here are what worry me. I think carrying this in my backpack all the time, it would have to be in some sort of protection, which is just one more thing that you have to open to get the camera out. And with the action cameras, I don't worry about hurting them. Also, if you do hurt one, it's half the price of one of these. So there's that. But it took me a long time, and it was a journey to figure out. I had a lot of people recommend a lot of equipment, and it was right for them, but it was not right for me. So I've sold a lot of it, and now I'm kind of the action camera queen, because that's all I use now. So I understand about downsizing, Randy. John Stringer. No, y'all are gonna make me look this up. Um, he's let me see if I can find it, because let's see. John Vandevort. John Vandevort. That was his name. And I don't know if he still has a YouTube channel, but he was doing the same thing, Randy. He had bought too many cameras, and he was going a different route, and so he sold his ZV-1. Mookie says, I plan to spend the money that Randall saves on more cameras for me. Can it work like that? Yeah, well, yeah, sure. Randy says, I use the Leica Q3, Nikon Z8, Z6 Mark III, and the Sony A7CR for my YouTube content. Now I thought you were using the Panasonic S3. Didn't you keep the blue one? I could be wrong. Aha. Here, we're continuing. The Panasonic S5 Mark II, S5 2X, and the S1R2 for the Panasonic Studio. So we have a YouTube content, a Panasonic Studio. Now we're getting to the Sony FX30, the A6700, and the A6100 for the Sony Studio. 3 ZRs for the Nikon studio. So, um, so apparently Randy has a 3-bedroom house, and we have a Nikon studio in one room, a Sony studio in another room, and a Panasonic studio in another room, and then I think he's using the dining room as well. Am I right? So Randy, the A6100, if I were to get a Sony, it would probably be either the 61 or the 6400 because they have the flip-up screen, and you know I'm a huge fan. There has been an action camera that has come out that has a flip-up screen. It's only this big, okay? But the front forward-facing screen on mine is only this big, so, you know, it is what it is. Oh, okay. Randy says he sold the S9s, gave away the Fuji cameras plus lenses, sold the Ricos also, sold all of the Canon gear and cameras. Wow. I did not know you did all that. So, did you use Marketplace or did you use a place like MPB or something? Which I love buying gear from MPB. I made a mistake and I bought the wrong camera. It would not do, um, like live streaming. Okay. It was an older model and it wouldn't do it. And they took it back with no questions asked. When I explained to him it was my mistake, I didn't do my research as well as I should have, they took it back, no problems. So, and the camera was pristine. I mean, it looked brand new. If I could have had a use for it, I definitely would have kept it. Their prices are good, and their gear is it, I mean, it looked brand new to me. So they don't deal a whole lot in action cameras, but they do some. They have a few, but I am looking at the 32 millimeter M lens. That's the only lens that I really don't have for um, the M6 Mark IIs. I don't use them very often, only if I know, like if I know I'm going out to shoot something, but I don't carry them daily because there again, I would tear them up. It's just not worth it. Randy says the A6600 has the flip up screen, but it's $1,400. The A6100 is the cheapest, but the A6400 has more features. A6600 has better stabilization and a full-size battery compared to the APS-C size. I did a stabilization test between the ZV-1 and the Canon G7X, and there was no comparison. The ZV-1 sucks. It was so bad, and I even had people ask me if I had something turned on in the camera, which I did, but it was bad. So, basically, I would not use this if I was going somewhere like, say, Switzerland, and I wanted to take pictures of the mountains. I would not use this as a video camera, unless I was standing very, very still, because walking with this thing is horrible. But it does have the zoom that my action cameras don't have. So, you know, it's a trade-off. Carlos says, I made a couple of videos while down in the desert a couple of weeks ago using the Pocket 3. I think it looked better than my ZV-E10, no joke. But the gimbal might be an issue for you, Sly. Yes. I know me, and it's not that I'm rough on equipment, but I don't want to have to baby something. I want it to be useful, and if I break it, I break it. But I don't want to have to treat it like it's fine china. I mean, obviously, you're not going to put fine china in your backpack and carry it on the daily. And that's what I do with my action cameras. They go everywhere with me. I have a magnet that goes on the hood of my truck, and it has like a little rubber thing to protect the paint and everything. But that magnet is like, when I try to take it off, I literally have to climb on the hood of the truck and pry the thing off, right? I mean, it is on there. And what I love about the action cameras, and I'm sure there's cameras that will accept a wireless microphone, is I can wear the microphone on me inside the cab. Now the camera is going to pick up, even if you turn the, well, I guess if you turn the internal microphone completely off, it wouldn't. But in post, I just separate the soundtrack. And so I've got the microphone from DJI in the cab. And so it's not picking up any of the wind noise. But yet you're getting the view. We went to there. I found a new lake in Oklahoma, which I didn't know existed. And it's got a really, really nice hiking trail and all this stuff. And driving to it, you go through like all these woods and everything. It's just gorgeous. And so I put that on the hood of my truck, and I can, because I have that with me all the time and the microphone with me all the time, those impromptu moments when you run across something like that, you just, I mean, literally less than 5 minutes, and I was off driving with this beautiful scenery, and I got to capture it all. So I would have an issue with something that had a gimbal on it. I have a gimbal for like my M6s and my Sony. I have a gimbal. I don't ever use it because it's big and bulky, and the action cameras just work so much better for me. Randy says that is why Peter uses GyroFlow. Yeah, and I'm extremely lazy, and that's one more step that I would have to go through to process something. Uh, and honestly, when you compare the footage, now it does depend. If it's like bright daylight, sunlight footage, you would, yeah, I use the 4, okay? But if you compare that footage right next to the ZV-1, that would be a very interesting thing. I have never done that. I've seen hours and hours and hours of footage from the 4 and some footage from the ZV-1, but not as much. And so if you were to set them stationary, both of them stationary, it would be interesting to see. Now, obviously, there's hands down, the Osmo would win as far as stability, but just to have them setting on a bar on a tripod and doing my little thing, it would be interesting to see if the ZV-1 outperformed the Osmo Action. I don't know. I might have to do that. Randy says, for the Sony cameras, I hate using the extra step of post-production. Amen, brother. That's why I was saying, I don't want to have to go through that extra step. Which, I don't. I have to edit out some things, but I rarely have to touch up anything. The sound, I may have to lower it to get some of the wind noise or something out, but I rarely do a whole lot besides clip me out because, I say a lot of uhs and stuff like that. So I clip that kind of stuff out, but it was interesting because I filmed my daughter's engagement, the proposal, and afterwards, we thought we were gonna have to reshoot it, and so she was saying a few choice words, so when I sent them the video, I edited that out. Well, it turns out they want that. So I wouldn't think you would want, 60 years from now to be heard cussing at your proposal thing, but apparently they do. They want that. So I have to go back and and send them the unedited version. Randy says, I will do a video using the ZVE1 Mark II and the Pocket 3. Well, the ZVE1 takes interchangeable lenses. So it may, I think Peter did some videos with the ZV1. It has better stabilization than the ZV1. The ZV1 stabilization is not good, but I don't really think that's what the camera was made for. Maybe it was. Maybe that was Sony's intention. If it was, they failed. But, you know, Randy says the ZVE1 Mark II has the 18 to 50 compared to the original ZVE1, which has the 24 to 70. I thought the ZVE1 had interchangeable lenses. Oh, okay, okay. Now we're on track. Yes, the ZV1 Mark II has the 18 to 50, which the Mark I has the 24 to 70. And I've got the Mark I. So, and it's great. Now, I will say, I had this with me when we did the castle in Falls, something Falls, Turner Falls. My son had the SX. That's amazing that's still warm. My son had the SX740HS, which is a much less expensive camera than this. It was when they came out or whatever. I don't know what the specs are on the lens. Sorry. It has a 40 times zoom on it. And at 40 times, that thing is still crystal clear. I don't know all the mechanics of it, but he got some stunning pictures of the falls coming down and the people swimming like that were way, way below us. Absolutely stunning pictures. He's taken pictures of the moon. They've turned out so good. And I think in hindsight, the only problem with his camera, and I have taken it with me a couple of times, but the only problem with his camera is you cannot hook a microphone up to it. And the internal mic sucks. The workaround for that is my mic 2 has internal recording. So if I really, really, really wanted to use his camera, I have the Tascam and the DJI mic 2 that I could do just onboard recording within the mic and then pair it up and post with the video. So, and it's not that it's like the best at video. I mean, the stabilization is not the best, but the zoom on that, way better than the zoom on this. So, now that's the one I want, Randy. The RX, of course, there's the RX 100 Mark 7, which has the 24 to 200, best for vacations. That's the one that interests me. Marcus Pix just gave away an RX 100. I don't know if it was the 5 or the 6 or the 7, but I put in for that one. Did not win. Story of my life. But yes, it has the 24 to 200. It has the flip up screen. That's the one I want. And I think, didn't you have one of those? I don't know if you still do, but I know you did at one time. So, I don't know if it has the fins like this one. Does it have the fins on the lens like that? That would be my only concern. But that one caught my eye and just because it has a flip-up screen. So it would be nice to have a bigger screen than what the Osmo has. The 360 Insta, what's it called? Instago 3. You can put it in it's a little bitty camera. It doesn't even take a memory card. It's internal. You can put it in a dock that has a flip-up screen. I have an issue because it doesn't have a memory card. But it serves its purpose. It does have a place. I just, because I film so much, I need something that'll take, like, I usually shoot with 128 gig memory card. And those cameras, I don't think they have that big of memory. Yes, I still have it. I forgot to mention it. Yes, that would be my, like the Ricoh is a fantastic photography camera, but not so great for video. But the RX100 Mark 7 would be the one that, but those things are up to $1,400 now. I mean, they have just really, the market for pocketable point and shoot cameras has just gone through the roof. Which is good for anybody wanting to sell one right now that bought one a couple years ago. But trying to buy one right now, kind of expensive. Just a year ago, the RX100 Mark 7 was $1,298, and now it is over $1,400. And it does. Okay. Randy just sent me a picture. I don't know if it'll show up on there. Will it show up? Something like that. But it does have the fins just like the ZV. But it does have more zoom. So, it's definitely not, for me, it's definitely not worth a $1,400 upgrade. So, send a picture to your message on your phone of yes. And it does. It looks very, very similar, actually. I can get this, no, it's not going to do it. So, nope, it's not going to do it because of the glare. They look very, very similar. But I think, I can't remember now what the RX100 had over the ZV1. So, the ZV1 Mark II, no, the original. This one has the 24-70. And it cannot even hold a candle to the 740. But it can take a microphone. So everything's trade-off. Well, guys, Randy, thank you again so much. That just, it makes me feel so good. Like maybe I'm not doing this, for nothing. I don't know. I just really appreciate it. I appreciate everything you guys do. You guys have helped me so much. And I know if I have questions about anything, you guys are there for me. So I am gonna get with Luis, I think. I'm gonna try to, and figure out how to work the stupid Stream Deck, because I have it and I know it would be so handy because I can put the computer and everything over there and use it over here and do whatever I need to do. But so far, I've tried hooking it up, and so far it's beyond my capabilities. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to try to get with Luis. That's one of the things I'm going to try to incorporate. If I don't end up liking it, then I won't use it. But I have it, so I might as well try, right? But hopefully the cold will be better by next week, and everything will be in like Flynn. I want you guys to have a very safe New Year's Eve. Okay? If you go out, just be aware of other people around you. I'm not worried about you guys getting in trouble. I'm worried about other people around you getting you guys in trouble. So, if you go out. If you stay home, great. Would make this old granny feel a lot better if I knew all my little chickens were going to stay home and be safe. But it's okay. Randy says, Peter and Luis have done videos with the Stream Deck. Yes, I know Luis has. I haven't seen a video of Peter. I know he uses one because I sent it to him. But I don't know that he made a video on how to hook it up. I know Luis did, and I may go back and try to find that and see if I can. And I do this a lot with Luis's videos. I'll watch them, hit pause, hit play again, pause, hit do, may have to go back and rewatch something, and but he usually gets me there in the end. So, but yes, you guys, you mean the world to me, and thank you for your support and your encouragement. You guys have become family to me. I don't know where Scott is tonight. Scott's probably asleep. Carlos says, I'll be celebrating in Hollywood. I know Hollywood is not that far from you, but please be safe. And if you run across something interesting, take a picture. I love you guys. I will see you next Tuesday. Happy New Year.